Drip, drip, drip. Hi, Stan Walters back with you again for another episode of Inside the Interview Room. This is episode number 24. We're still covering mutiny in the mind, and this segment we're going to look at cognitive leaks. All right, now cognitive leaks, this is your mind grabber. I want you to remember from the beginning of this. They don't show you points where there's deception, but they do indicate parts where the reliability is under strain. So in that recon, this would be the spot that you go back and ask questions about. So let me give you an example of what I mean by a leak. Normally the executive control of the brain is to monitor output, to sort and to organize and sequence information. Keep it straight in the brain so we can recall it. But examples of a leak is where the brain fails to inhibit, or it's almost like an earworm. You know, when you hear a song and it keeps playing in your head over and over and over again like a jingle. This is going to be the problem part or the strain part for your subject's cognitive ability. For example, there was a couple that reported their child was kidnapped. The baby had been missing 24 hours. The next day, the couple was being interviewed by a TV affiliate nearby about their missing child. The mom, at one point, was asked about the child's development, and the mother said she was like scooting and crawling. She was like her older brother. She was just like him. This is the child's only missing 24 hours, and the mom is talking about the child in past tense. At this point, when I told the investigator and the deputy chief, you're not looking for a rescue. This is going to be a recovery. Another subject, in an arson case, nobody knew, nobody had to point, and I didn't know when the fire had started. And this guy set the fire because he liked the lady, and somehow that's going to make her fall in love with him. But I asked him about his activities the day of the fire. And I said, "Did you know anything about it?" I said, "Yeah, because at 6 o'clock, I was at my brother's house." Nobody knew the time of the fire. But he gave that time. That's that leak. Case of a missing woman in Texas. There was the boyfriend and his buddy. And his buddy was being interviewed, and they were the boyfriend were really tight. They're good friends. And he was asked why he was doing this interview on television, why he was allowing it to happen. He said, "Nobody is speaking up for our or mine or Robert's position." Suddenly it's not Robert and I, it's our. It comes out later that they were involved, and the buddy was involved in part of the cover-up and removal and the hiding of the body. So listen for those leaks in your reconnaissance of listening to the narrative in that cognitive reliability framework. That's a spot where you come back and you start asking questions for more detail. Okay, so now remember, hit the subscribe button. Check back next week and do our part 5, okay, the cognitive scramble, which I think you're going to like. So be sure to hit the subscribe button, and remember, what happens in the interview room echoes in the courtroom. See you next week. Be safe.